What's up guys? We're in the fun house here and we're gonna get down with some trick tutorials. I'm gonna teach you guys 3 intermediate tricks on a one wheel. These are tricks for riders who are really comfortable cruising around on their board. They're throwing tricks here and there, some reverts, some body varials. They wanna take their trickery to the next level. These 3 tricks are gonna do that. If you're a new rider and you wanna learn some easier tricks, go check out our last trick tutorial video. 3 beginner tricks all one-wheelers should learn. It'll really help you get started on that one-wheel trick journey. You can check it out right here. So make sure you check that out if you want to learn a little bit easier tricks. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to backside slide, toe spin, and I'm going to teach you guys some drops. So let's kick it off with some drops. So I want to talk about my board specs real quick. I have the Cloud tire on here, which is a really fun tire. It's really stable and really round and curvy. I got flat pads on here. I really like that for tricks. It makes the board even feeling so that if it's either way, it rides the same, which is really nice. I got these bang bumpers on, which is essential for sliding. They're the best bumpers for sliding and just keeping your board together. They're really solid. And I got lifesavers on here to protect those rims because you do not want any cracks in them. Sweet. So first off, we got drops. I think drops are more of an intermediate trick because they have a more mental challenge than they do a physical challenge. So when we're doing all these tricks, I want you to remember that there's always a mental challenge that you have to conquer with these, along with the physical challenge. So this one is more of a mental challenge when you're getting to those bigger and bigger drops because, you know, it's a big drop you gotta drop off of. So remember that when you're trying all these tricks. So to start off, you want to keep your knees bent when you're riding, right? You want to make sure that your stance is bent and you're going to just ride off of the ledge. When you ride off, you're going to want to extend your legs a little bit, but you don't want to extend them all the way because it's going to push your board away from you. So right as you're dropping, you're going to extend your legs a little bit and then you're going to land on the ground flat-footed and you're going to absorb that shock with your knees, right? So you can see my feet are staying flat, right? And I'm absorbing that shock with my knees, right? So I start bent, I ride right off and I'm gonna extend my legs a little bit and then as I come to the ground, I'm gonna absorb with my knees. So let's try some. Knees bent, hold your speed, little extension, absorb in the knees. Bend your knees, hold your speed, extension, and then absorb at the knees. You can see right as I leave the ledge that my legs are extending just a little bit so that I'm keeping the board underneath my feet. And then once it's coming close to the ground, I'm gonna absorb into my knees to really like brace for that landing so it's not super abrupt or crazy or anything. So let's try some bigger drops. Let's see how that goes. So we got a bigger drop here, but the motions are still the same. We're gonna bend the knees, we're gonna hold our speed, we're gonna ride off, we're gonna extend a little bit, and then we're gonna land flat-footed and absorb in the knees. So with the bigger drop, you're gonna get more air time, so that extension of your legs, you wanna really make sure that you're not extending too far. So it's like a slow extension. So let's get some. So bend the knees, hold your speed, extension, and then absorb in the knees. Bend your knees, hold your speed, extension, absorb at the knees. If your board is tilting when you drop, it means that you're pointing your toes too much off of your drop, and usually that is from overextending your legs, and right after that is when your toes will point. So try keeping your knees bent more and not fully extending those legs on the drop. Just a little extension, and so then you can absorb all that shock in your legs from the drops. Introducing the backside nose slide in your legs from the drops. So a backside nose slide is when you come up to a feature that you're gonna slide on. It could be a curb, it could be a parking block, you know, something that you can get your nose onto. You get that nose up there, you twist 90, you get your weight onto the nose of it and you slide on that feature and then you twist out and you ride away smooth. That is a backside nose slide. So first off, we're gonna just ride straight into that feature, get our nose over that, and then shift all of our weight onto that front sensor pad to feel that locked in position. You wanna make sure that when your foot is over the feature, that your shoulders are also center over that foot, because all your weight is gonna be on that front foot. So let's try that until we can stall for a good like 10 seconds or so. So you can see all of my weight is just centered onto that front foot pad, right? I can take my whole back foot off, but all of that weight is in that front foot pad. So once you get that stall down and can hold it and feel that locked in position, all that weight on the front foot pad, we're gonna start approaching the feature. And to do this, you wanna start about 10 feet back from it and a little bit in front of it so that you come at it at an angle. So you wanna start about 10 feet back at least from the feature to get enough speed to keep your momentum sliding on that feature. You wanna start a little bit in front of it so that you can come at a slight angle to help you get that nose up there. So to start off, you wanna get into that like stable position with your knees just slightly bent. You're gonna hold your speed, come in at the feature. So right as your board is coming up to the feature, the nose is gonna slide up the feature and you wanna start shifting your weight all the way onto that front sensor pad so that all of it is locked on here. So at the same time, you wanna twist your hips 90 degrees to really kick out the board so that it comes out perpendicular to the slide, and then you can keep that momentum this way. To really get that 90-degree twist, right about here when your nose is sliding up, you kind of want to twist your shoulders in front of you a little bit, and that's how you can get the hips to twist that 90 degrees to really get it out here. So let's try a couple and see all those steps in action. Bent, twist the shoulders. Ooh. Shift all the way onto that nose. Really important to shift all the way onto that nose. Knees bent, right before shoulders. Shift your weight. Whoop. So when you're ready to exit the slide, you're sitting in that balanced position, right? You wanna make sure that you twist your shoulders a little bit and then get that hip twisted out so that it can come straight again. You really want to make sure that you push that front foot off of the slide, and then make sure you get your shoulders over that front sensor pad so that your weight is in front of you to keep your momentum forward. So I see a lot when people first start learning these. So what's happening is when the board comes on, the tire starts to grip and it wants to roll all the way around. Once it gets to this edge of the tire, it wants to grip in more because that's the leading edge. It wants to dig into the slide. So to prevent that, when you get all your weight shifted on that front, you want to try and control the angle of your board just slightly so that it's tilted back just a little bit so that the backside edge over here is following the slide so that it can just follow along with it instead of the front edge digging in. So remember, try and really hold it back just a little bit. About this much is pretty good. And if you do ever roll this way, you can just roll out, boom, and go fakie, which is still rad because that's still a backside nose slide and you're coming out fakie. Sick. So a little tip for you, if you're really trying to get really long slides or really fast slides, you want to come at the feature you're sliding on at a more parallel angle. So you want to get really close to it and come at a more parallel angle and really focus on that twist and shifting your weight 90 degrees because this keeps your momentum in that straight line. It's not being interrupted by that angle that you first learning to come and slide on. So longer slides, more parallel angle to the feature that you're sliding on, and you'll slide for days. I also see a lot of people trying to turn into the slide. So they'll come parallel and they'll turn and come in. You don't want to do that. You want to keep parallel and just twist that whole board and get that slide going. Those backside nose slides are a little tricky, but with a little practice, you guys got them. The third trick that we got today for you is toe spins. What is a toe spin? That's when you jump off your board with your back foot planted on the ground and your board spins in a full circle all the way in front of you, pivoting on your front toes. And then as it comes back around, you lift that back foot off the ground, you plant that sucker right on that back foot pad, and then you ride away smooth. It's important to do this trick on ground that will let you. So you can find really slick ground. You can do it in dirt. Dirt works great for it. You can do it in grass, which makes it a little harder unless that grass is wet. That will slide around in there for days. So once you find some slick ground that you can try this on, the first move that you're gonna do is you're gonna de-weight. So when you de-weight, you're gonna come up, and then as you come down from your de-weight, you're gonna release your back foot off of the foot pad and you're gonna plant it onto the ground. At the same time, your front foot is going to push down on the front sensor, just the toes, pushing it into the ground. And you gotta really hold it there, really hold that, your leg muscles in your front leg when you're pushing it down. Really control it there on the ground. So once you step off and you give it that little twist of a motion, you're gonna give it a little circle motion with your front foot. So that front foot that's planted into the ground on that front sensor pad, give it a little circle motion, and you wanna follow the one wheel. That's really important. Once the one wheel starts spinning, that's when you start that circular motion with that front foot pad. And that circular motion is about this big, just with your toe. Whoop. And that's what will pull your board all the way around you. The board's gonna come around and it's going to start approaching your back foot again. So once it starts approaching, you're gonna de-weight again and you're gonna lift the back foot off. So it's like a jump with your back foot, but your front foot's gonna stay on the board for just a little bit longer. So then once that back foot starts to come down, and right when it makes contact with that back pad, you wanna keep coming down, but you wanna level your board out when you come down. So it's like this, right? Your back foot comes down, and then you're still crouching, and then you level out your board. So let's see if we can get that. So for toe spins, remember, de-weight, and as you come down, your back foot's gonna plant onto the ground. Your front foot at the same time is going to push the front sensor pad into the ground, and you wanna make sure you hold it there with your leg. You really gotta like pull in with those muscles, all right? And then it's gonna spin around you with that little circle motion. And then as it comes around, you jump back up, toe is still down, back foot lands, and as you still coming down, that's when you level out your board. So that's important for the landing. As you come down with your back foot, you wanna keep coming down until your board is level out. That was 3 intermediate tricks for you guys. We got some drops in there, we got nose slides, we got toe spins in there. They're all pretty tricky tricks, so keep working at them. Don't give up on them. Remember to always get back up and keep trying it. And remember when you're trying all these tricks that there's also that mental game that needs to be conquered for each trick, along with that physical conquer that needs to happen. So remember to always be confident in what you're doing and throw those tricks as hard as you can, but stay in your abilities that you know you have. So go out there, have some fun. If you guys found this video super informative or really fun to watch, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe to our channel, because we're gonna keep putting out videos like this because we love doing this and we really want you guys out there to be doing the same stuff. So I want to spread my knowledge to you guys out there, and I hope you guys like it. So like, subscribe, comment below what tricks you want to see. If you guys need help with any of these tricks, I can shoot you some pointer tips in the comments, so make sure you throw them down below because I got you. I've done these a billion times. I'm gonna do them a billion more, so let me know. Thank you guys again for watching this video. I hope you guys have a fun day. We're out. Maddie, let's go get some food. We starving out here. We starving our workers, cameras out here. We doing this crazy shit out here. Let's get some food.